Hi. It's so exciting getting home from holiday and going out to see the garden, don't you think? Well, it's March, we've been away for 3 weeks and I was expecting to see the first signs of spring. It's Alexandra from the Middlesized Garden YouTube channel with garden tips, ideas and inspiration, and this is the March, you will not believe it, garden tour. So let's go. Do join us. I really did not expect to see this after spending 3 weeks away. When we left, snowdrops and crocuses were coming up and the lawn needed mowing. The temperatures were average for February in Kent, around up to 10 degrees centigrade during the day and a few degrees above freezing at night. But it turned out to be the coldest March the 1st on record, and we nearly didn't get home last night as so many trains to Kent were cancelled. Here in the garden, everything is under a blanket of snow. Someone once told me you should design a garden for the winter because all gardens look beautiful in the summer, and that's even truer for snow. The structure is really the only interest in the garden at the moment. The changes in level, the trees, the colour of the bark, the topiary, the grasses that is. So probably the most successful part of the garden is directly outside the back door with the topiary spiral that my niece says looks like the poo emoji. However, I do understand the poo emoji is very popular, so it is a compliment. I'm a little bit worried about how the lavender are surviving the snow. I cut my lavender harder than many garden writers recommend, which makes it last longer and gives it a better shape, but I do wonder whether such a heavy fall of snow might affect it. Probably the most successful plant is the least fashionable one. People keep telling me I should get rid of Aucuba japonica, but apart from the conifers, it's almost the only green to be seen. I do love the structural quality of pines, and I'm keeping several in pots, and they're certainly ideal in a winter garden. In the back of the garden, the sundial shows how important shape and structure is in the winter. It can get a bit lost under the foliage in the summer, but it's the star of the back bed now. And looking out at the garden from underneath the pergola, you wouldn't know that this garden had any flower beds at all. It really shows that a winter garden is about shape and not colour. This is the first time I've seen the box knot under snow, so I'm delighted, but I wish I'd cut it to a sharper shape. It's certainly worth keeping topiary crisp and smart in winter, so that's a note for next year. There's really nothing to report in the veg garden. Last month I covered it in black plastic to suppress weeds, but I've had a quick look under and the weeds seem absolutely fine and quite cosy. Maybe they'll have died by the time I need to plant veggies. And my seeds and potatoes have been delivered. I asked garden bloggers on Twitter for their one very best veg, and the result is a 20+ list of unusual varieties. I've ordered them all, so this year's veg garden will be an exciting experiment. If you want to find out what garden bloggers recommend growing in the veg beds, there's a link in the description below. Lottie is pleased to be home too, and we both hope to see you next month for the early April garden tour. So do subscribe to the Middlesized Garden YouTube channel for gardening ideas, tips and inspiration, and let me know what sort of gardens you'd like to see. Thank you.